Hello, Henry de Groh here with sharing some Zuma details. Now this is the mast on my Zuma. At the top of the mast, the lead line, there's a good name for that. Somebody put that in the comments for me, please. The line that you use to pull up the main sheet, or the sail, goes through the top of the mast. And one side you can see here is damaged. Okay, I think the lines that originally went through for the sail were a little bit smaller in diameter, and then the owner that had the boat before me switched to a heavier line, I think, well, maybe. And one of the reasons is because when you lead the line through here, it creates a huge amount of friction and wear on this plastic piece that's at the top that the line runs through, and you can see it's completely destroyed. And inside here there's extremely sharp edges that are created with this wear. So when this happens, it gets harder to pull it through, and the harder it gets to pull through, the more wear and damage it makes on the plastic and the line. And it ruins the line. So I thought that required a fix. So I took a piece of copper tubing and cut about halfway through it and left about a half an inch, about this much, intact, and then slid that through there, glued it in place. Before I glued it in place, though, I cut about down the length so that I could open the tube up and hammer it and work it so that it would serve here as a to help the line run through here and mend this thing. So I basically filled this. Both sides look the same. I basically filled that area in there with glue, built it up, and then put the copper tubing in this hole, and laid the extra copper tubing down, hammered it flat, and glued it in place. And now this works real nice to lead the line through and raise up the sail. So I imagine everybody that owns the Zuma that's not new, and all of them are not new, has the same problem, this ruined plastic top piece. So this is one of the ways you can fix that, with a piece of copper tubing glued in place and some filling in there. Okay, the second problem I had was with my tiller. So here's my replacement tiller. I believe a straight tiller was the original on the boat, and then an aftermarket tiller came that was sort of S-shaped. So the tiller is quite low on the boat, and this S-shaped one comes up like this, so that this doesn't bump up on the bottom on the top edge of the boat. You can see here that there's this wear spot, and this S-shaped tiller sort of prevents that. However, if you lift this up a little bit, occasionally that rubs against the boat and causes that wear, but not really that often. And the S shape is got some problems structurally. It is actually a much weaker design than this straight piece. When you put that S in there, it creates a torque, an unhealthy torque on the tiller, and that caused the failure while I was out on the water of my tiller. So if you do have one of these S-shaped tillers, do keep an eye on it. If there's any cracking or problems with it, scrap it, make another one, and if you do make another one, I recommend you beef it up a little bit. The tiller that I had was nice and light, but it was too weak. So if you use an S-shaped tiller, make sure it's nice and strong, and that's how I switched mine over to a straight tiller. And those are the two fixes I wanted to share. Bye-bye.